I am with the wonderful, beautiful Sarah Moore. Hi, Sarah. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
I know. What was it? Goodwood?
I think it was, yeah. It feels like a long time ago. But it was Goodwood. A very rainy Goodwood, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, I totally forgot. We were in that marquee and
almost
it was
got stuck in, didn't we?
That would have been a real shame. It was very nice there, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
So we are now at Autosport. What brings you here?
Actually, I had no reason to come here. I wasn't actually going to come, but then my mum and dad especially can't stay away. So I was like, oh, I'll just pop along. And then I've been pulled from pillar to post. And then, Sarah, can you do this? Sarah, can you do that? Oh, sure, why not?
Have they been pulling you from pillar to post? Why? What do you?
Well, they've got all these people. My dad knows many people from over the years, many years of racing. So
I know you said you've been here apart from the pandemic years. You've been here every
year since I was born, since 1993. So I think it would have been seriously, yeah. I remember actually the Cheeky Girls performing in the live arena. I kind of remember what year it was, but that's one of my fond memories of the Autosport show. It was when I was definitely much younger, but yeah.
Why on earth would the Cheeky Girls perform at the Autosport show?
Why not?
So you've driven down today, and you're driven with your parents.
Well, my dad used to race himself when he was younger. Got our own family race team. My mum does all the admin, answering the phone, all the important stuff behind the scenes. My dad does all the talking. So I think for my dad, I'd like to think he's almost at an age where he might think about retiring, but he can't stay away. Keeps going back.
Dads can't retire.
I mean, when you've got a race team and an airfield in the family, it's a bit tricky to pull away from it. I can say that speaking for myself, because it is. You can't stay away from it. So yeah, you just had to come. Just never know who you might bump into, do you?
Exactly. No, I know exactly. So, you have just been over to India, haven't you? Been racing in the league over there. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it was different. I got actually, it wasn't even a last-minute call, but I got a call from John Lancaster and Tara at Motorsport Women saying, oh, we've got this potential opportunity. And at that point, I'd kind of, I would say, come to terms with the fact that I wasn't going to race again, to be honest. Just hit 30, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm ready to hang the helmet up now. But then they gave me a call, and I was like, maybe I'll put the helmet on for one last go.
One more round.
One more hurrah. New circuit. They had originally two street circuits on the calendar. Should have been Hyderabad circuit, obviously Formula E race there, and a brand new Chennai street circuit, which should have been a night circuit. Unfortunately, both of those got cancelled. So we didn't actually do a street circuit in the end, and we ended up racing at the same track. I think it was 3 weekends we ended up doing. The hardest thing for me was most of the people that I was racing against raced last year at the track and in that car, so they knew it better than I did. And most of them had raced all year as well, whereas I'd not raced since Singapore in the W Series was my last race. So it was like, I'm excited to put my suit back on, but then I was like, oh, I have to remember how to drive again. It's been a year or so. So yeah, I was all constantly playing catch up. Constantly learning a new car, learning a new circuit.
Did your team win the team championship?
Yeah, so that my first race really. The practice was all in the dry, and I was off pace, probably about 2 seconds off the guys that were at the top. But I think it was Raul Hyman who was at the top. Professional driver. I think if I'd have kept up with him on my first weekend, I would have surpassed my own expectations, but I didn't anyway. But no, it rained for my race, which I was extremely, extremely happy about, to be honest.
Why is that?
Well, I'm from Yorkshire.
Oh, okay. Felt like at home.
Yeah, it was. It was like being at home. So I was... the trouble is, in India, they don't have the drainage at the circuit. So when it rains, it pours there. And they don't have the drainage to be able to drain the water off the circuit fast enough. So they had actually cancelled quite a few of our practice sessions beforehand because the circuit didn't have too much water on it. We're like, oh, it's probably a bit unsafe for you to go out. And it's me going, no, it's fine. I'm from Yorkshire, I'm used to this. But no. So actually, before the race started, we'd not driven in the rain like that.
Wow.
There's me sat on the grid going, yeah, let's go. If there's any time I can get a podium, it's now. And it was, I wouldn't say it was carnage, it was mayhem. Literally couldn't see a thing. Anyone that's raced single seaters in the rain will know the visibility is poor. I mean, it took me back to W Series at Spa.
Oh, the big accident.
Yeah. Well, I raced the race that weekend for me. It rained like it did with the F1 race pretty much every year at Spa, to be honest. Where the visibility was so poor, and you almost just go, okay, I just want to finish this race. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to do. You know, there was a team's championship as well as a car championship. So I was like, okay, got to finish the race for the team, if anything else. So I just kept on circulating. And I love driving in the rain. So I was in my element anyway. And I had absolutely no idea what position I was in. I had a rough idea. I was like, I think I'm on a podium position here. So that's fine. We'll stick with that. And then Gabby got taken out literally on the last lap. I think it was the last lap. Literally 3 corners from the checker flag, which promoted me 2 spaces. And at that point, I was like, maybe I've won this, but I wasn't sure. So I celebrated going across the line. So I was like, I've got a podium. I've got a podium. Came back round to the pits, and Chitesh, the team manager, he just came to me really excited. And I just looked at him and I was like, did I win? It's like, you won. I was like, oh, wow, amazing. So yeah, my first race back, after the W Series, I won.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
first female as well to win in the Indian Racing League, to win in India. So,
amazing. That's fantastic.
It was pretty cool.
I know, it was really like rooting for you and following you, and obviously celebrating that with you. And it was amazing to see, as you said, it was fabulous to see that you win and be on the podium after such a long, year?
Yeah, over a year.
Over a year,
yeah.
And of course now we have said goodbye to W Series, which is really sad. You know, we've got the next generation coming through with the F1 Academy. And despite whatever you might be offered this year, if you're offered a drive or not, we're not to know that yet. But you've also got your plan B on the roll, haven't you? You're rolling it out.
Yeah. So I'm hoping and wanting to get more involved in the coaching side. So as I came up through my own racing career, I never had a mentor or a coach or anything like that. And I never really, when I was younger, thought about the fact that I was a girl or a young female growing up in the motorsport world, and there wasn't many of us. But having now done the W Series and I guess grown up quite a bit in some aspects, I kind of want to give back to the future generation. So I want to try and delve more into the coaching side, get more young girls, young females involved, and try and help them progress throughout their career, and also just learn more on the engineering side. So hopefully working a bit more with some teams, still being present in the paddock this year, hopefully. So not the end yet.
No, because I mean, regular people go through job changes in their life or career changes in their life, because you're not always the same person anyway. And obviously motorsport, there is quite a small window for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say that you're out of that window yet by any means, because some of the Formula 1 drivers are much older. But it might be a progression anyway for you to then put what you've learned over those years, and as you say, that passion for being a mentor for somebody else, because these girls coming through will need that, if that still isn't really in existence.
But that's it. I think motorsport has come a long way, even just in the past 5-10 years, and I think there's a lot more involved now in being a racing driver than there was maybe 15 years ago when I was in Ginetta Juniors. Back in those days, I didn't do any fitness, I didn't do media training, I just jumped in the car and drove. And you can't do that now. No. From your training from the point before you're even 14, certain areas of training to develop yourself ready for the next stage, whether that be your fitness, your media, psychologists. You need it all now, because you've got to, if you're not at that level before you jump in that car, then you almost end up wasting an extra year trying to learn and develop. And if you're trying to go down the Formula 1 route, you've got to be bosh. You can't waste time. So you've got to be effectively over prepared for what you're racing that year to be preparing yourself for the year after. So yeah, hopefully some exciting things in the pipeline.
Yeah. So you've not have you launched anything yet? Like your training,
No, nothing,
your own
nothing
training
yet.
academy?
No, nothing yet. No, I set up. I've been self-employed for many years doing my coaching, my one-to-one coaching. I set up my business last month. Just going with the same coach and stuff. To be honest, it's just more the fact that he goes through the business rather than for making it more complicated being self-employed. But no, just yeah, in the process of trying to get a new logo designed, website, all that kind of stuff to give myself
Yeah.
a bit more of a push on the coaching side. But I mean, I've been in motorsport for quite a long time now. I'd say I'm not old by any means, but I've been around the motorsport paddock since I was born, so I've got a few connections, and obviously with the family team, there's so many jobs I can do within the family team: engineering, mechanicking, coaching, team manager. I can fit in any role within the family team. So there's always jobs for me to do.
There is, and that's good to know that you might not only concentrate on maybe driver mentoring, but we know even from STEM that being a big thing, and focusing on careers that aren't only drivers. Careers that many women are capable of doing, without there being any kind of gender issue. And I kind of feel like you can mentor somebody that wants to, be a I don't know, aerodynamicist or something, or a strategist.
Yep. I mean, the connections are there at the end of the day, through people I've worked with, engineers that have worked in Formula One themselves that have, come away and gone to more, I wouldn't say the club level, but back into kind of the GT style racing. And we all want the same thing. We all want to achieve the same thing, and that is to bring more females into the paddock, get more females involved. There is actually more females involved with F1 than what people think.
Yeah.
It's just that they don't get the television or the airtime. They're behind the scenes and nobody sees them. Okay, it's still a small percentage of the circus, as we say, but they are there and they are present, and it's just trying to keep on pushing that and letting the younger generation know that it is possible to be part of that. So.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I wish you the best for that, and I do hope to see you in a car again at some point
I'm
this
sure
year.
you will. I'm sure you will.
That'll be amazing. Well, let's hope you've had a good day today at Autosport, and we'll see you soon.
No worries. Thank you.